Happy Monday and welcome to the Wolff Den, presented by Winning Academy. I'm Matt Wolff, founder and CEO of Ticket Time Machine. We got a great week of guests, of artists, starting out with Kosha Dillz. So Kosha, welcome to the Wolff Den. How are you today?
What's going on, man? It's good to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. You and I met on the Warped Rewind cruise, and we had Kevin Lyman on last week. But for those people who don't know who you are, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Kosha Dillz, rapper out of New York City, born in Jersey, lived in LA, lived in Israel. I specialize in like freestyle raps, what I've been like kind of known for, my content. Billboard charting artist, was on Warped Tour a few times, including 2018. The Warped Tour cruise, I think, was at 2017, maybe.
How long ago? Holy smokes.
And then also, you know, I've toured with everyone from Matisyahu to, you know, I just recently released an unheard battle with DMX. I've rapped with everybody from really across the board, from Wu-Tang to someone that you probably know, and under like MC Lars, or just, you know, just all different genres of hip hop. And yeah, man, I've been doing it over 10 years, and I'll probably do it for another 10 at least.
That would be, we hope, another 10. So we're going to get into a whole lot of stuff about your life and your music. Let's start with how'd you even get into this, you know, to be a rapper? And
my friend in Jersey, my friend that I used to play soccer with, Ballz, he was a pretty popular rapper at the time in the underground world. And you know, I became Kosha Dillz. That was my first name. I went into rap battle 1998 fall in New York City at New York Post Cafe called Bragging Rights. Got on stage. A couple people made fun of me. You know, this was a strong era when people booed people. You know, and yeah, and I held my own, and I ended up, you know, coming back as KD Flow for the next 5 years, and just doing battles, like just battling off the top, written verses, just for battling, and recording very few times.
Yeah, and so, you know, you're very strong on the Jewish roots, and so that's something that really, you know, supports the name and why you came back to it. I see you're very active on Twitter. With regards to that, so talk a little bit about that. So you were born in the States, but very true to your Jewish roots.
Yeah, I think in general it was me being, you know, away from it and being like, oh, if I'm named Kosha Dillz, this will kind of like bring me closer to it. But hip hop is like represent who you are. So I was always proud to be Israeli. Even I was the first one born here besides my brothers. My brothers were both born in Israel. And then I decided this was going to be my thing. And I got introduced more to that world just through Matisyahu, touring with him for like the first, you know, 10 up to 2016, or really just on the road with him as much as I could be. And that consistently just, you know, attracted me to the Jewish community, recording with him, Jewish community finding out. And he was the biggest of the biggest. So if you see me, usually I built this community up over 15 years, you know, just knowing people on a personal level. And I just felt like hip hop is representing who you are. So Jersey, Israel, Jewish, hustler, wrestler, rapper, bars, you know.
Yeah, so Matisyahu, I don't have the full story here because I don't remember, but Matisyahu had a transformation, right, where he cut all his hair off. Was that a religious thing?
No, I mean, I think he's less religious now than what he was. Just real quick, is there feedback too? Should we plug in?
We're good.
We are good? Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
I know because I'm hearing a little bit on my end, but as long as it's cool with the recording. Yeah, Matisyahu is, one, he's a legend. He really set the tone for Jewish people to make music about being Jewish and make it okay. On such, even though he hit pop culture, he really set the tone for a whole new genre of music to come through. So with Matisyahu doing that, I guess, you know, along the way, people are he wasn't born religious, and he became really religious, and he was less religious, and he shaved his beard off. You know, I didn't have a beard. You know what I mean? So it's like my brother doesn't have a beard. He's a religious. So you know, but it was sort of like for the pop culture world, people think, oh my God, if you don't have your beard, it's not like Santa Claus or anything. You know, it's just hair. Obviously, it's, you know, and people have their own journey. So, you know, I respect everybody's journey. And I mean, he's helped me a lot in my journey. So, you know, props to him for really, he introduced me to so many Jewish people and so many people around the world. I could never really judge anyone's personal story of what they do, you know what I mean? Especially, but I do know that it was a big shock to the world, you know?
Yeah, you know, people are going to do what they want to do for themselves, and then there's going to be chatter, especially the bigger you get, the more chatter there is. So, you know, if you know who the person is and what he stands for and his music, then you'll listen to him. Everything else is just noise, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned a few things that I want to touch on, the journey. So, for people who don't know, you've had an incredible journey with ups and downs and roller coasters. So, talk a little bit about, you know, a little bit about the good and the bad, I guess.
Yeah, I think like, so I would say from 99 to 2004, I was really on the vibe of, you know, I was just getting high like all the time, selling drugs. And then it just consistently got worse. Went from like doing drugs to selling drugs to getting arrested for selling drugs. But I was just kind of selling drugs so I could do more drugs. And then sort of, oh, you know, like getting involved in street life, you know, like possibilities of like, you know, trafficking, all that, like just on a level of what I was doing.
Was that to make money or was it just to get?
I mean, that's what I was doing in my mind. I felt like I was doing it to make money, and I was making money, but ultimately, you know, I loved the lifestyle. So getting high, selling drugs, having money, it was just a big thrill for me. And eventually, once you get caught, you give all that money up. So it just goes. So, and I mean, statistics say you could literally work at McDonald's and probably make more money in the long run, because no shade to anyone who working at McDonald's, but that's the reality of it, is that like a nice boring job will actually earn, because you don't have to give the money back. Once you get arrested with all the fines and everything, you have 30,000, you know, whatever, it just goes, it just, you know, it's gone. Lawyers, this, that. And that to me was you know, when I got arrested the last time and I was running from the police, I was like having an epiphany, you know, that I was supposed to stop. I felt it was like some sign from God, and the police didn't find like a large amount of drugs, and I was coming from probation. So I was going to get another charge, and I had already did time for my first charge, which was for selling ecstasy. And I thought to myself, like, here's my big opportunity. And then, you know, I got sober like in the summer of 2004 because of that. And I had to go into programs because I was trying to stay at a state prison. So I was like, I'm a drug addict, which is true. But there's ways you could go into programs voluntarily so you don't have to do state prison time. Maybe, but because I had already did time. So in my mind, I was like, yo, this was it. I really felt like, yeah, there's no going back, you know? And since then, I've been on the straight and narrow path. I mean, if I've been consistently, I never fell once. So I think it's really important for me to share a story, because, you know, if you're looking at the shirt I'm wearing, DMX, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was the world's biggest rapper, but he's not with us anymore. Mac Miller was the world's biggest rapper. He's not with us anymore. People don't like to talk about it, but it happened because of drugs. It didn't just randomly happen. You know what I'm saying? People don't just stop breathing, you know what I mean, because of natural causes. That literally set the tone for me to do everything. And like, so I took my wrestling mentality of my hustle and my diligence and my intensity there, and just applied it to music, where like I feel like it's like the laziest place on earth, you know. People are lazy, so people consider I'm a hard worker, you know. That's why I really vibed with Warped Tour, because Warped Tour was designed for people who work hard.
Yeah, hustle. Hustle is really the word to describe him. I want to get into that.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see the video that DMX did? It was an interview, and he said it was this year. He goes, "If I drop dead tomorrow, I will have lived a great life, and I could, really be happy with what I've accomplished," which was very, I guess, fitting towards what happened. This was earlier this year. He was obviously trying to make a little bit of a comeback, but demons, whatever you want to call them, wasn't able to get away from them. And he went and got help, right? I mean, he was in and out of rehab. So there's people who don't get help. If you need it, definitely reach out. There's so many resources. I mean, you know more than I do and other people, but there's so many people who want to help. There's a lot of resources to help. So
easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even on Warped Tour, there was a touring 12-step thing, Music Cares. But it's really hard to explain to somebody who has tons of cash, still selling out shows, that you gotta stop doing everything you're doing and go get help. For me, it was easy because I had nothing. I was worthless. I was just rapping locally. I didn't ever do anything. Everything for me came because I'm sober. You know what I mean? Everything, I got clean. Then I got all these new opportunities. People are like, why don't you come here? I remember the first time I went to Chicago. It was I had 5 months clean. And I was like, this is crazy. People flew me out here. And I'm sleeping at somebody's house in Chicago. I'd never been to Chicago. And, I played Subterranean, you know what I'm saying? I was like, wow. And there was 30 people there. And I was just like, yo, this is bananas. People want me to rap, and they're like, I could sell my CDs. I could print them up at my parents' house on the computer, on the Compact Presario, and burn them and then bring them over here and sell it. And to me, that happened. And I got to go to upstate New York and, with the year. And then I got to go on BET, Freestyle Friday. And just, that to me was, I started to see things, I started to see whoa, now I'm about to get a job. I'm about to start rapping and people start paying me for music. This is cool. This is really cool.
I'm drawing a blank. I hate when I do this. Did you have an episode with what's the Cubicle series with the man? We'll go. If it hits me, I'll get back to it. The hustle. We come back to the hustle. You're known for going outside of big, huge events and just rapping on the street for people, or even small events, or just rapping on the street. What gave you that idea? And just I guess tell us a little bit about the experience in the big ones, and just going out the other day. You did an Easter and a Passover rap, and that was in New York City, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The thing with the pandemic was there's nothing happening during the pandemic, and I had done it before, but New York City is a different beast. During the pandemic, it was the worst hit, and then it sort of opened up in the summer. So I moved here, and I was like, yo, this is kind of wide open. Let me go outside and try to do this here. And I started meeting people, and I'm just I just want to meet people and hustle because I haven't had a show in a year, and this is my main form of income, and I'm not selling out shows anyway. Let me just go outside. And then I realized these videos, people love it here. People love the hustle of New York and the grit and the grind more than they do in another city. You know what I mean? More than they do in Miami, more than they do in LA, more than they do in Austin, more than they do in Oklahoma City, more than they do in Chicago. Because New York, it's you need to get out every day to hustle to pay the bills. It's just expensive here. It's a city of hustlers here. Everyone's a hustler. Everybody has a little bit of grind here, because that's what you have to do, sort of make it in the city, from what I heard. And I was like, you know what? Well, let's get it. I was born for this. You know what I mean? I truly believe I was. I'll never be broke because I have resilience and I'm willing to do it. But more importantly, I really saw the the fact that they celebrate these videos out here in New York, like people rapping on the street, and so for me, until I get the next opportunity or the next studio session, it's just the daily thing. And you go up in your followers, and you go up in your Spotify listeners, and so I'm like, so why not? Because other than that, you know, I have to be creating and working on my craft. But the costumes that I did for like Passover and Easter is like a new thing, which has been really exciting for me. And now I'm really loving it. Like I've started. I have a whole new thing now that just started, and I'm not even talking about it yet. But like I got all kinds of outfits, astronauts. Like, dude, it's crazy. So and it's exciting for shows. You know, like I can't wait till I get to do this at a real show with a real band. You know.
And I mean, you're aiming. You're a rapper, a performer. You do, I guess, what people would consider street performing, but you're not aiming to be a street performer. You're a rapper who's going to go on tour with bands and do your thing, right? What's the distinction between that?
There is no the world's biggest touring acts, all street performed. Just so you guys know, from Bieber to Meghan Trainor to like all these people performed on the street. You know what I mean? Performing on the street takes humility. Performing on the street takes courage, because we care what other people think. We're all Instagram this, Instagram that. But performing on the street, like I'm a machine, you know what I'm saying? Like I could do this all day. But performing on the street is just, I don't go to bars because I'm sober. I was like, I don't go to bars. I'm not trying to go hang out and network. You know what I mean? It's just like not comfortable for me. I don't want to go and sit around when you guys smoke weed and your studio session and be there. You know, I'll pop in, pop out. But if you get to see me in the street and then there's a massive crowd, the world's biggest geniuses are walking around New York City every day. Every day they are. I mean, literally, the people are worth millions of dollars, biggest producers, and they're gonna stop, and they're gonna create those. They're gonna see those moments because they understand what it is. And like I've gained so many followers from doing it when I would have not known anybody. And it needs to be taken into consideration that New York is different than any other city. So being a street performer in New York is just part of like, it's just part of being part of something special. I feel like I'm part of the elite that could do it. And I don't feel like I'm lower than. And that's the thing. There's this famous video in the subway where somebody was playing on a $4 million violin. I don't know what it was, but I remember this video. Person is just one of the most legendary players playing on a legendary piece that's priceless, and people just walk by. They just don't care, and that's part of the beauty of like New York and the street performing thing is that you don't know that I have a battle with DMX. I have a battle with DMX. Who the hell are you to judge like how good am I? Like the stuff I've done is so legendary, it's so iconic. That it doesn't even register with people.
Yeah.
For me, I don't need to, because I know it's iconic. I know the stuff I do is legendary. 100%. I'll go against anybody for it. I'm like telling you this like straight through the computer, because I also thought like that. Not being a street performer, I'm a performer. I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I do is amazing, and I have the ability to live off my art. I might deal with, sometimes what people think, but I snap out of that real quick. And I taught myself how to snap out of it. And every time I taught myself how to snap out of it, I made more money than anybody doing it. You know what I'm saying? I made $50,000 off a commercial from being on the street. So you could be in the music industry or tell me you're an R and it's just wah, 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 wah. That doesn't matter to me, because it's like I have my songs, I have my album, I have my street stuff, I have my tour stuff, I have my rap outside the building, I have Warped Tour, I have I've hit all these things. I played Coachella, the battle with DMX, I've toured with Snoop Dogg, so Matisyahu. So this is just one other part of my journey that I'm currently doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'll do it forever, but me personally, I enjoyed so much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the interactions that you get. You know, we used to go to Key West, and right on Mallory Square every Friday and Saturday night, you know, with the sunset, they would have a ton of people just performing, and they're, you know, they're doing some of, you know, they're making some money, but they're doing it for the love of it, and they're honing their craft. So, you know, not every street performer has to aspire to be performing under the big lights, but, you know, it's whatever makes them happy. And I did see that violin when it's an incredible story. You see a lot of those where like famous people playing where no one knows who they are, and they're like, you know, maybe drop $1 and they don't necessarily stop to hear. But if you have a big performance saying, hey, this person's going to be here, the difference of, hey, if someone,
it's key. So that's why I started dressing up on the street, because now when I started dressing up as Moses or in a suit, people stop. 8 people, 10 people, every single camera is out because they can't believe it's happening.
Yeah.
People say I'm the best performer they've seen on the street. I'm the only rapper that they've seen on the street. So if hip hop started in New York, why wouldn't I go out on the street and do it in New York? You know what I'm saying? And when I think about it, you're talking about Key West. It's like, where is there a club playing Key West? How long is it going to take to play a club in Key West and get booked and sell tickets in Key West, when you could just go outside in Key West, start rocking, pow, and then get a huge crowd, and then meet everybody who you're supposed to meet, boom, like this, make your money, hang out. And like, I'm not at a bar drinking, so I'll just go outside a bar and rap. And I really would like, I really believe that, because like, it's not my major market. And you'll meet all the right people that you have to meet. You'll meet some people that are from out of town that throw a festival. And so some of the best things I've done are these pop-up shows. So I don't like to call that busker or street performer. Well, like I'd be like a pop-up, you know, doing a pop-up show here, doing a pop-up show there. So it's also how you like, but yeah, technically it's busking, but it's just different. You know what I'm saying? Because what I've done, no one's rapping on the street like me that has a verified, you know, on so many levels of like what I've done. So for me, it's me on my own journey, and I just need the right person to say, hey man, we're going to shoot a movie on you. Hey, this is what we're, you know, so, and that's been offered a few times already. So yeah, man, I don't see myself stopping that within the next, it's been too good to me. Like during the pandemic, it's been amazing. So
it's like a little tour also. You could be like, I'm touring here, and here. You've been out to LA. That's where you were living for a while. So did something out there, and, you know, do it on both coasts.
Yeah.
So you just keep doing it until something hits and it brings you elsewhere, or until you just, you know, don't feel like doing it anymore.
I think on my next tour, like that I go out with all my suits when we go back, I'll have all my suits. I'll have my bunny outfit, my astronauts, and it's going to be like a traveling circus of me with the band, we're all going to be in suits. And then after the show, we're going to go do a pop-up in these towns, Omaha, Chicago, wherever we're at, and we're going to, boom, right outside these, when stuff opens up again, and we're going to be like, hey, we're playing here tonight, come over and check us out. You know, we have tickets, and we're going to do these things, and all these videos are going to go viral in their little towns and their circles, and that's how we're to develop more. So, you know, the renegade stuff doesn't have to die. It's not all Instagram ads and Facebook ads, and I think people need that now, specifically with the pandemic. So, you know, I'm excited to take the street show to other places.
Yeah, my wife and I watched The Masked Singer, and we're like, there's no way they're singing with all that stuff on there, but you're wearing this stuff and singing. It's got to be really, really difficult to do in some way. Does it affect your rapping, or?
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot, but like when you have the mask on, everyone wants to know what it is. And you know, from MF Doom to you know, MF Doom is a prime example of just like, you know, if he didn't have the mask, he wouldn't be as popular as he was. You know, the Masked Singer wouldn't be the same if it was just a singer.
Yeah. You know, we like trying to figure out who it is.
Exactly.
Some are difficult, and they were like, they're not going to get that big a star on there. And then next thing you know, they do. A lot of fluff, like every reality show, but it's definitely some good stuff here. My friend Brian, a big supporter of the show. This is his attempt at rapping. Maybe we'll get you to do a little freestyle towards the end. It's not great. It's not. He needs help.
Oh, Brent. Hey, what's up, Brent? Hey, Brent. Yeah.
But he's trying. Brent and I talk. So talking about Jewish rappers, you know, you mentioned Matisyahu. Brent and I were, when I told him you were coming on the show today, we talked about the Two Live Jews and the album they came out with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is there anything inspiring you to work with Jewish? I mean, have you spoken to Little Dicky? Have you ever?
I did some shows with Lil Dicky back in the day. I would say 2015, maybe. I played with him in like Omaha, Des Moines, and did we play in LA? And I played with him in LA. And you know, I would love to be a guy on his show. You know what I mean? As Dave. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's done shot. But I'm sort of. I mean, he came out like, dude, he crushed everybody. He's the world's biggest Jewish rapper. But I would say, as far as people that mean like Jewishness, like what Matisyahu is different. Two Live Jews is like a parody album. You know, Jewish people are really good at parodies. There's even a lot of choir groups in the Jewish music world, like the Maccabees, or you know, they like sing these popular versions of songs, and then they Weird Al it. You know what I'm saying? They like switch it to something Jewish, family friendly, and especially in like the Orthodox community. And then there's, you know, other communities within that, you know, that sort of have their own twist of things. So for me, it's not essentially what I'm required to do, but unfortunately, the problem with me and as an artist is that I like to do everything. I'm not a one-trick pony, but you know, in the world of TikTok and stuff, like Lil Dicky is like the funny rapper. Like that was his thing. He's just really funny and ridiculous. I mean, his name's Lil Dicky. So if you have a lot of Kosha Dillz, kind of like Lil Dicky too, but I also have the serious side, which I'm very proud of. You know what I mean? And when I have the serious side and the hustle and that sort of, people don't know which way to go with it. And, you know, the people like to put things into a box, you know what I'm saying? So my goal actually isn't to work really with Jewish artists. I mean, I love that, but, you know, love to work with any artist that's amazing that, you know, wants to work with me. You know what I'm saying? Black, brown, purple. Because I believe in uniting people. And a big part of my stuff is fighting anti-Semitism. And by doing collaborative projects, you know, people meet Jewish people, you know, so I might be the first Jewish people ever meet when I tour their town. So it's a little bit different. And so I think all people love to put things into a box. So if you can't put somebody into a box, people have trouble making decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I like to not be able to, you know, to have a little bit of mystery about it and be able to operate outside the box, or, you know, I call myself a little bit of a unicorn disruptor, because the status quo, I think, is not, I don't think we can continue on the same path for a lot of different reasons. So, you know, having you talk about going outside of what people are expecting of it and doing those shows like the ones with the costume out there, I think it's you know, it's a differentiator. It's for you, it's going to be it could be a game changer. Although you've been doing it for a while, because I remember even when I first met you talking about, you know, being outside the Grammys and doing the street thing just in a different way.
That was the big thing that I did then, and now, you know, I would go in a full tuxedo, like I'm in the, you know what I'm saying? I would be better dressed than the people inside and rap outside. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then that's the way I'm doing it. Like now, if I'm gonna have 30 people at a show in Salt Lake City, I'm gonna be in a tuxedo. I'm not gonna be in like my underground gear at a shitty venue. You know what I'm saying? So, all respect to I just keep thinking of this place called Kilby Court. It's like a dive dump, you know, no alcohol, just a show room, right? Tons of kids there, all ages. And I'm like, okay, let me dress like I'm a star, you know? And I've been experiencing what it's like for people to look at you for what you're wearing. And that's the first time I've been doing that in my life. Because for me, I've been, you know, whatever. It's not, fashion hasn't been important to me. But then I realized that like the way you dress, I'm saying dress to impress and looking good, but looking like, wow, oh my God, like, look at that guy. That's how I want that to happen, because my music is good. And I think my music's great, and I think my raps are hard. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you could mix that with some like hard ass rap, people are going to be blown away. And if we have a show to do it in a venue, that's exciting, right? Because we don't know what that's going to bring, and I'll be able to share that with you when we get, you know, in a couple months.
It's kind of like Freddie Mercury and Elton John, where they were great on their own, but you know, that fashion was kind of what really took them to the next level. And they, you know, would they probably have gotten big without it? I'm sure they would have. But anytime you could get more eyes on you, regardless of for what that reason is, obviously you don't want to do bad things, but getting eyes on you, you just never know who that one person is who could be the right person to change your life, I think.
Exactly. And like, listen, I just had the thing with DMX. I mean, and I also dressed as Moses, and TMZ interviewed me, you know, in Times Square rapping. And that was like after 2 weeks of starting that project, I got an interview from TMZ. So you got to think like, I'm just trying things, you know, what works for me. If it doesn't work for me, I'm not going to do it. Someone said, I would never, ever in my mind, you know, ever want to really I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I'm trying to respect myself and learn how to respect myself along the way. It's tough enough. I'm 39, getting older, and you're like, yeah, you're rap. You know what I mean? You see your psyche is like, you should be bigger by now. You should be this by now. You should be here in your life. And all of that goes through you, and then you say, you know what, shut up and just rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut up, get on it, rap. And I think, you know, I took a step back and I'm like, let me just try something new. And my friend Blake Banks, shout out to Blake Banks, he's like, wear a suit. Just start wearing suits. I said, okay, I got a red tuxedo. That worked. Then I got a blue tuxedo. Pow. Then I got a, you know, green tuxedo. Boom, world star. Boom, you know. So I'm like, all right, now get this suit. Now get this suit. Now get this suit. You know, and
isn't it crazy how like the simplest ideas are things that could just you don't think about it, because we're always trying to think about so many creative, incredible things that there's so many simple things that are just in your room and your closet right now that could be, you know, a new outfit or costume or prop or whatever it is to. And with you being a, you know, freestyle, you could, I mean, you could rap about anything. I could pick something out of my closet now and, you know, Tupperware, and you start rapping about it. That's the great thing about, you know, dressing up in costumes and, you know, using props and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I mean, you know, I just had a big discussion with my friend. She's getting famous on TikTok, and she's like, and I just started tracking some views on TikTok. I was really excited. I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm like up to like 4,500 followers, and I'm like, you just got to work at it, keep working at it, just that, and then it'll go up. You know what I mean? You could have that content that just that consistency. So yeah, we have to stay relentless now, you know, while everyone is stopped. Now is the best time to give people more, you know, because we can't stop consuming stuff on the internet.
No, and that's brings me to a good segue here. What does famous and success mean to you? What does that mean to you? Is that something you aim to have? Is that something that you already believe you've achieved? I mean, it means different things to different people.
I mean, if I could see myself, you know, getting millions of views on videos and songs and radio play and selling 400 to 800 tickets every time I walk into a building, you know, across the board, and having diehard fans, to me, that would be a real level of success and fame. Because and being able to cross over from you know, local to global to, you know, music across to film, any form of storytelling which reaches more people, to me, is amazing. So for instance, I get to tell the story about DMX, right? I could show the rap battle, I could show his part, I could show another kid's part and tell the story. I could share all of it, tell the story. I can keep posting it every time. And no matter how, if it reaches more people and gets for me to connect with more people, that's all I could do. I could just keep connecting with people. And ideally the day when we have the big event, everyone is there because we've connected so much. They just can't wait to see me. So when I come to Florida, all the Ticket Time Machine people are like, yo, I love that guy. He's so deep. It resonates with me. It's just like, it's meaningful, yet it's fun. You know, I want people to experience all that. It's like a therapy session. It's like up, down, here, there, boom. And after 1 hour, we're like, wow, that was awesome. You know?
And you've done the, didn't you do the church at South by Southwest or the thing?
The what at South by Southwest? The church?
Sunday.
Oh no, that's Sunday service with Kanye West, Coachella.
Yeah.
Yeah, at I mean, no, I did something called Matisyahu. I mean, I made a spoof of it. But funny, Kanye West made this shirt. This is I got yesterday at the DMX thing for him, and he I got to perform at Coachella, you know, as a guest on my boys Subsuelo. They are like a Spanish cumbia DJ crew, and they kill it. And I have a song in Spanish, Hebrew, and English called Spain Hebrews, which I think you heard. And then I got to go into that, you know, to that session, and that's where DMX did, and they played it at his. And I like, for instance, I was there just dancing, you know, with everyone, and that was for me. That was like just another place, like of me being. That is a great place to earn fans and just meet people and connect with people. And then I think when you show that to people as like time goes on, maybe in the new world when we have that, you know, we have this opportunity to go back and do shows, that some people will consider that famous or that success, or you're there with everybody. But I want my own success. I don't want to be there with everyone else for their stuff. I want everyone to be there with them, with me for my stuff. And that's a big difference, right? There's many people that do a show and all the cool people go to that show when they come to town. But when I come to town, I want everyone to be there with me. You know what I mean? And it's like, who came out to see me? And that's a big precursor to like what the possibility is. So when big people start trying to manage you, that's a good sign. You know what I mean? Right now I'm doing everything by myself, but I believe, and I just recently started believing this, bro, like recently. I really did not, because I thought it was always good to be there for everybody else, but I want to be there. I want everyone to be there, you know, for me. I think what I'm doing now could be huge because it's brand new, right? And it's like been more successful than anything I was doing for years. So when I go back out there, I'm gonna bring the street with me, and I'm gonna design the stage so it looks like a street performance, but it's, you know, we're gonna make it look like it's what we were doing during the pandemic. And if I could do anything perfectly, I'd have a film, a musical, and a highly successful musical album that accompanies that, and a sold-out tour, right? But that isn't success for everybody. I am successful regardless if that happens or not, but that's what I would like. How to get there? It's all about connecting with people, having a hit song, having something that's so big that it's undeniable. And I've experienced a little taste of that during the pandemic. I've had my first song with over 1 million streams. I've had my first, you know, viral videos. So that is where we're headed. I mean, I just have to keep doing what I'm doing, is what people say.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, when you start getting attention, you get people telling you, hey man, I love what you're doing. It just, that's kind of fuels the fire to keep it going. And all you need, you don't need to have hit all the, whatever people define as success. And, you know, I find that I've been successful with Ticket Time Machine and the Wolff Den so far, and we're just getting started. You know, there's so much more levels of success to hit. But, you know, when you hear people saying, love what you're doing, keep it up, that's all the motivation you really need to understand that you're affecting people with what you're doing.
One person can't make you success. Like if somebody likes you, like, you know what I mean? They'll buy and support your stuff, or, hey, well, you know, use your tickets. And I think like you know, someone sharing me, and like the biggest form of flattery is someone sharing my work. Like today, a really big artist shared my stuff without me asking them, you know?
I do it all the time.
You know what I mean?
I've tweeted your stuff too. It's
Yeah.
great when someone does it. It's great.
It's a good feeling when people, but like, it's not only about the big person. It's on for like level of fan. It's about all the people with 100 followers that are like, yo, man, really love it. Like you affect me, you know? And obviously when a big person shares it, now all his fans are getting introduced. But it's not about catering to your non-followers. It's about catering to those that already follow you, right? If we all had everyone, all followers, you know, buy all our work, I would have been on the top of the Billboard charts. But I don't have that connection with all my followers. Some are very passive, right? So, but if I could create that relationship, it's already there. I just have to create the relationship. So I started thinking about, oh, what do you need to do? What do you need? You know, I just need to be feeding, you know, feeding the beast, right? And showing up for you guys and all my people that have, you know, have been introduced to Kosha Dillz before. And this goes for any artist, it's anybody. It's like even Kevin doesn't even, well, Kevin Lyman doesn't need to even, doesn't matter what bands are on his bill. I mean, they're gonna, I mean, it does, but like he's the draw. People like literally buy tickets just to meet Kevin, right? Because what he's created for 25 plus years. That to me is like, you know, it was just amazing. You know, it's just an amazing concept that's how he's connected to people. And that building something like that, right, is really what is awesome.
You're a Jersey guy like me. Do you know John D'Esposito at Bamboozle? Because I hear that's coming back.
Really? Yeah, I did. I once made a guest appearance there in 2010 on a comedy set with my boy Eric Schwartz. I had to say that all right now before I forgot. But yeah, Bamboozle was awesome. And I saw Mike Posner play there, saw Sean Price, I think I saw Drake play there 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Bamboozle was great. We're all excited to get.
I would love to play that. Oh my God!
Dude. I'll have John on. I've had some messages back and forth. We gotta, you know, hopefully get him on.
Tell John I'm ready. I gotta hit him up. I'll tell him, hey bro, I heard a bird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you might have a better connection than I do, but either way, let's do it. We'll all be at Bamboozle doing our thing. That would be awesome. Speaking of Jersey, you know, growing up, you went to Rutgers, which is, you know, Jersey school. I grew up a half hour away from that. You were a wrestler back when you were younger? Yeah.
Before I got all hooked on drugs, yeah. I was up to my sophomore year, so up to my junior year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How good were you?
I mean, I was good enough to wrestle 2 years at Rutgers, you know what I mean? So I was good enough. You know, in high school I made a state, and you know, I beat some state champs in college, or you know, wrestled in some open tournaments, East Stroudsburg, and just like I was good, and I could have been better, you know what I mean? But I dealt with a lot of fears. I had a lot of confidence issues, but like I had enough. I've taken all the lessons I have and just applied it to my real life, and I really believe like you put a wrestler in like real life, man, like they're relentless, you know what I mean? Because they understand like dedication better than just a lot of people, especially college athletes. So
yeah, we had well, first of all, Rutgers is now in the Big Ten, which is the preeminent wrestling conference. So it's like it's probably got to be a whole different world now with but yeah, Rutgers was our state school. We used to go to watch. I didn't go to watch wrestling, but went and watch basketball. Not a whole lot of interest in the football, although they've had some ups and downs. We had Rishi Ball of the Four Chord Music Festival. He's got Blink coming for this upcoming festival, and he had a wrestling area and like a skateboarding thing as part of his whole music festival. Kind of just
where
it's in Pittsburgh. I can connect you with Rishi, but he, you know, trying to make this thing more of an experience than just music to get people.
Yeah, you said the best word, and that's what I want to make. I want people to be like, whoa, you just had an experience. And when you have an experience, you'll never forget it. Like, let's say you're coming to New York City for the first time and you see Moses rapping or a guy in a tuxedo rapping on the corner. You're going to be like, who is that guy? I got to see him again. You know what I mean? And right what you said, a music festival experience, like if I could create an experience, then I don't have to bear all the weight of the show not being a success, right? Because it's like, I'm creating an experience, and people share experiences with other people. They don't always share other artists. So if you're like, I went to the Kosha Dillz experience, you know what I'm saying? This is it's like featuring Moses with the bars, the bunny rabbi, blue suit blazer, you know, the red tuxedo lover, you know, people are gonna be like, what the hell is this? You know?
Warped Tour and Bamboozle, those were experiences. It wasn't always just music. And look, you can go in New York City. The guy, the Naked Cowboy was does his thing, and it could be more if, I don't know how talented.
Right. I mean, the Naked Cowboy is the Naked Cowboy, but yes, exactly. It's like, and like people from Broadway have reached out to me to have like discussions with them about putting on shit, and because they love the characters that I created, you know. So to me, that's exciting. Like, that's credibility and stuff, and that's high priced tickets, and I'm like, wow. It just gave me more excitement, man. Like, it gets boring and dull, like album, video, single.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do something cool. You get out on the street, man. 10 street photographers are taking pictures of you. Your images are getting, tagged everywhere. This is like what we have to do, to be seen in a pandemic. And if you're not willing to do more, you're in the Wolff Den, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be hungry, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Eating alive, dude. You know what I mean?
You're just figuring it out and figuring what works and then going with it. And if trying to do as much as you can and, support people, get some support, build a nice network that'll believe in you, because that's what it's all about. You need people to believe in you and enjoy what you're doing. You talked about a successful show. I got to imagine that, again, different levels of success, because you probably had a show where you performed in front of 10 people and you thought, man, this was like one of my greatest shows I've ever done.
Yeah, I've definitely had shows and in places like, I don't know. I always resort back to Omaha because that city's always been so good to me. I really feel like since like 2008. And, I always go with there's a saying from A League of Their Own. It's a film about, women baseball players during the war, and they say, hit them where they ain't, hit them where they ain't. And that, to me, that meant Sioux Falls, Omaha, Des Moines, Iowa, Oklahoma City, Casper, Wyoming, Boise, Idaho. Go to those places, you know what I'm saying, and perform. And people appreciate you in these towns, and you're having the greatest show for 30 people. And 30 people will always come back, see, or 50 people, 100 people. And those small towns grow and grow and grow, and they grow to as big as they can. And those people move all over, and they, you know what I mean? And it stays with you. You become friends with these people. So that is my, that is my perspective on those kind of shows. I love them. Those are shows I look for.
The thing that comes to my mind, Omaha, the College World Series would be a good crowd to be around. The women's College World Series is in Oklahoma City. Boise, you got the Broncos football. So, being in that area around those events, I think could generate some pretty good interest for you. Who we always talk about Mount Rushmore on this show. Who's the Mount Rushmore of rappers for you? For your most influential, or for your four favorite? It can be any combination. The four best.
Biggie Smalls, RZA, DMX, and Nas. Yeah, Nas. Jay-Z. I mean, that's like for me. That's like for me. That's what it. And like those are legends. It could change. I mean, people who are alive, people that I've worked with. I saw Brent wrote Chubb Rock. I mean, there's like for me, that's the kind of school I come from, the East Coast school of rap. So that's just what I would like, but I also listen to Digital Underground, rest in peace of Shock G. And because I had a little bit of quirkiness. I'm very quirky. I have weird, I'm Kosha Dillz. I do like weird stuff. Just because I've been through a lot of dark stuff doesn't mean my quirk isn't the thing. And if you think about it, since we're talking about masks and shows, Digital Underground, Shock G had the mask with the nose, and you know what I mean? He had the mask. So you're thinking about it like Kosha Dillz comes out as Moses, and you're gonna see me in these, you know, I could earn my, you know, my little stripes back to climbing up those mountains when you have that special twist. And I think that's what people came out. I think people came out for Digital Underground, who definitely deserves a spot up there with that, like because of like the epicness of what they did, how they were dressed.
Yeah, I got on mine. I mean, I got to put Eminem there. I got Beastie Boys, Run DMC, and Naughty by Nature for me. I love those. Are all some of my favorite. But there's so many good ones, and the great thing about rap and hip hop is there's so many different styles. You know, that sounds so different, but they all kind of come from the same place. Do you have a favorite venue that you performed in, and a bucket list venue that you'd love to perform in, or event that you'd perform at?
I just wanted to show. So you said Run DMC. I literally met DMC the other day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was out in Brooklyn. I was like, oh, I gotta whip this one out. A favorite venue? I want to have my own show at Red Rocks. I've played there as a guest a few times. I'd like to play the Gorge. I heard it's an amazing venue.
Yeah.
Those are
my mind.
Yeah, those are the places I like to play. My favorite venue, I would say, Empire Auto and Empire Auto Garage in the Control Room in Austin, Texas. Shout out to them. Shout out to Herd Entertainment. They've always held me down. But you know, I'm an explorer. You know, I love all the venues, man. Burlington, Higher Ground is so cool. Metronome, I just like that. Community. I'd like to play in Montreal in Canada. I haven't really played out there, but man, whoever books me treats me the nicest, and we have the room packed. That's the best place, because it's not about the venue, really. It's about the people, you know.
Yeah.
Well, like the people of the venue are, you know, that's really what, you know. The walls are they're just walls, you know what I mean. But what makes a venue great is the people that work there.
Do you have a favorite? I agree. Do you have a favorite music city?
Just first thing I would say is New Orleans is really one of the greatest cities, and Nashville. New Orleans, I just remember before the Warped Tour cruise, I was busking in, you know, New Orleans, you know what I mean? And that was just epic. And I met people that were dancing down there that knew me from LA. And they were like, yeah, we come down here just to perform for like 6 months. And I'm like, that's crazy. And they're like, yeah, we do street shows. We just rack up and just kill it. So that's awesome. But you know, Austin, New Orleans, Nashville, New York, LA, I would say in those orders. You know, they're just different kinds of music cities.
Where's been your favorite place to live? I mean, not what's been most, just if you were done and you're going to be like, I'm going to live here, you know, where would you like to go?
I would say Israel is great. Israel is, you know, I haven't lived that many places, but, you know, Israel, I would consider Florida maybe one time. I mean, yeah, but I haven't lived there, you know. I'm just living here now. I just got here, so we give New York a shot.
Yeah, I got Israel's on my bucket list. So I haven't been there yet. It's I will get there. It's you know, it's a must do for if you're Jewish, but I think it's a must see even if you're not.
Yeah, it's 100% a must see.
About, you know, being Jewish. Tell everybody where they can find your stuff, how can they support you. You know, I got some here at the bottom.
Yeah, they got everything on the bottom. Just, you know, listen to the album. Nobody cares except you. It's if it's on Spotify, Apple, all the streaming, SoundCloud, etc., Audio Mac. If you are on Bandcamp, koshadillz.bandcamp, you could order the vinyl, which is really great. And I have a merch site, districtlines.com/Kosha Dillz. That's my merch store. It's actually based in Florida. Shout out to you guys. And it's in Orlando. Shout out to Alex. And if you are interested in just, you know, being more of a consistent supporter, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Kosha Dillz. There's about 40 members there. And yeah, man, we're just, you know, say hi on the internet, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and just say hi to me. That's the best way to support me. Start a conversation with me, and I'll be happy to chat with you, especially if you heard me on Ticket Time Machine. Pleasure's all mine.
I forgot to wear I have some Kosha Dillz shirts that I got, the Warped Tour in Hebrew, and there was
Oh, yeah.
I think I have the pickle one, the pickle shirt too.
Yeah.
But
That was my big album. Yep.
I forgot to wear it. But
all day in pickle. Yeah.
Yeah, find some merch, listen to the album, give a like and follow on social media. We'll get you out of here the same way we get everyone out of here. The last question is, you have 24 hours to spend with someone. They have to be alive, and you can't be related to them or have met them before. And you get 24 hours to do whatever you want to do. Who are you picking, and what are you going to do? Because we're making a list, and we're going to make it happen for one of our guests. So we're going to make it happen somehow. I don't know how, but we're going to do it.
Maybe let me freestyle it. Okay, I'll give you a freestyle about what I'm going to do. Okay, I kick a bar, trying to be a star. 24 hours to go, and I'm gonna hang out with Nardwar, the world's biggest internet nerd. In fact, I think that was Anthony Fantano, so I switch it up back because I always watch a great interview when it was looking cool. We could go to swimming pools, just get real ridicule, maybe take a trip out to Vancouver, Canada, prove that I'm a professional and not an amateur. Pull up a chair, go to a restaurant, matzo ball soup with Nardwar, man, I feel the comp. Petition and nothing this was written. We could take a trip to Seattle and go to the Fulton Sea Market for the fishing. This is no contradiction. I had a couple bars to make everyone listen. Get an interview and upload it on YouTube so I could tell everybody the Kosha Dillz truth. And they'll be like, look at you, you're on Nardwar, and you don't even eat Pop-Tarts, trying to be a rock star, moving hip-hop bars, tell them stories of DMX and RZA, Cool G Rap, it got far, and Warped Tour. And then after that, it'd be an encore. So I ain't really stressing you if I had to get a buck. And if that's what I'm requesting about Nardwar in 24 hours, I hope Matt could set it up. Hey, yo.
There we go. All right. It's on the list, a little taste of Kosha.
Yeah.
Listen to the album. Check him out on social media. Always great to see you.
I also have a cameo. So people do cameos. I have a cameo with Moses, cameo.com/rappingmoses. And I got a cameo.com/Kosha Dillz. So if you ever want to freestyle, that's what I do.
There you go.
Presents. Good present.
All right. Great to see you. Wish you great luck. We look forward to seeing you on the road. And we'll do our best to support how we can. And everyone in the Ticket Time Machine crowd, do the same, and we'll see you again soon.
Hell yeah. Peace out, guys.
See ya.